Welcome back. You're watching the girls here on SSP TV. We have a brand new show and a brand new year, right? A brand new season.
Absolutely. Everything's new. We have a new background.
We have a new background. We're talking with people via Zoom. And today we have one of my good friends from Florida on with us. We have Lauren Brand. We were talking recently, and Lauren, thanks for joining us from Florida right now.
Thank you. Thank you for having this. I think this is an important topic.
Sophisticated cyber attack. So Lauren and her husband were recently under a cyber attack. And Lauren, I know that the reason I found out about it is because you were supposed to have a party, and we got a message from Malcolm saying, listen, we've been under a severe cyber attack. We have to cancel the party. Now, we didn't respond because we didn't know if it was your phone was hacked. So take us through actually what transpired with this sophisticated cyber attack.
First of all, I just want to say there's a difference between a hack and an attack. Okay. A hack is when someone gets into your computer and takes some information, manipulates it. I hope that doesn't happen to anyone. It could be that your credit card, you've had some credit card fraud, and your credit card company stands behind you and they give you a brand new card. What happened to us is a sophisticated cyber attack that actually took control of the internet in our home, took the eSIMs from our phones, took our Apple IDs, rendered all of our electronics useless. The thieves reported our electronics stolen, even though they were in our possession. They did this all remotely. They hacked into our bank accounts, maxed out credit cards, and they're opening new accounts in our names around the country. That is an attack, not a hack. So maybe I'm being a bit pedantic by insisting we use the right word, but this is horrific. A hack is an annoyance.
Right. And an attack is something that is going to really attack your life for the next couple months, correct?
At least a year. We're still in the defense position. We'll be in recovery soon. I'm naming the phases myself, just to give myself some boundaries to it. But once you put a fraud alert on your credit report, which helps you save your credit report and help, it makes it more difficult for them to open credit accounts in your name. Once you do that, you have you can open a new credit account. Like if we wanted to buy a car, we could, but it's very difficult. We have to jump through flaming hoops now to take the fraud report off of our credit and do something with it. So what we've done basically is said for 1 year, we will not be using credit. We'll just be paying stuff and living our lives as simply as we can. So it impacts you for at least a year, if not more.
Well, what was the first thing that happened that you recognized the fact that you had been attacked?
We lost the modem. All the lights went out on the modem in our house for the internet, and the internet stopped working. And I thought it was just an outage. Janine, we live on an island, right?
I know. We lose power all the time.
And then after a little while, like maybe 45 minutes or an hour, I started doing research on the internet on my phone because I still had cell service. And I wanted to see, is there an outage with our local carrier? And there was not. So I called the carrier. And after about another 2 hours, we wound up with the fraud department. And they said that someone had taken control of our modem. They got the modem back for us. Exactly 30 minutes later, the eSIMs were stolen from my husband's and my phone simultaneously.
How shocked were you and how scared were you? Because I would have been so scared on what do you even do at that moment?
At first it was just, why isn't my phone working? I didn't know. I'm not an IT person. I'm just a regular person. And we couldn't figure out what happened. We couldn't call the carrier's fraud department back because we didn't have phones to call them. So I wound up online and went to their chat box. And after a couple hours, we got the eSIMs back, restored to our phones. Then I called their fraud department, and they assured me that this would not happen again. Our eSIMs were now secure. We filed fraud notices and locked down our credit bureaus that evening. And then we went to bed because it was late. It was stressful. we're morning people, so we went to bed at our regular time. And then the next morning, my husband and I both woke up at 2 a.m. and we started changing passwords. It was panic mode. Woke up in a cold sweat, in a panic, going, "Oh my God, this is worse than we thought. It could be worse than we thought. How do we save ourselves?" Um, and it was worse than we thought. At about noon the next day, the eSIM left my phone again, and my husband's phone number was transferred to another carrier.
You said the attack was sudden, unexpected, and relentless. The attackers were invincible to us. For 4 days, we were frightened, trying to do the right thing and not knowing where to turn.
There's no place you go. You can't go to hack.com and get a list to go, do this first and then do that. And nobody tells you. Um, Nobody talks about this. And the more my husband and I are talking about it, trying to get help in our community is great. Thank goodness we know people in our community, but um, the more we go out and talk to our friends, even like I went to the gym this morning and my trainer saw that I was distressed and he's like, "Come on, tell me what's going on." And so I shared it. And I would say every 2 out of 3 people we talk to has had some kind of experience like this. I think it's more prevalent than we know. And that's why I was interested in your support, Janine, and in you having us talk about this subject because it's hurtful. They don't care that they've hurt you. They're absolutely invisible. It's stressful. There's no guidance. I think this is the cutting edge of the next part of crime in our country, and it's already hitting people. Our local sheriff's extremely supportive, and we filed a report, and hopefully they can do something to help us, but it's hard.
What did you guys do right at the time of you noticed that this was a sophisticated cyber attack, that this was something not just national but internationally going to affect you financially?
That's a great question. We had identification insurance policies through the credit bureau, and we have LifeLock. I actually didn't trust anyone, so I had 4 of them. I found out you don't need 4, you only need 1. All that the credit policies do, though, except for LifeLock, that's different. And I'm not endorsing any one company. I'm just telling you our experience. But the 3 policies that I had that were replicating each other, they only look at your credit bureau and does somebody open a new account in your name using your credit bureau, and have you lost money through that transaction? If you did, that insurance policy will help you. If they take money directly out of your bank account, if they steal the 18,000 pictures of your family that you can't replace, if they steal your airline miles, which have a value, there's nothing anyone does to help you.
So you woke up and really had to put the puzzle together, the pieces together. You woke up and you're thinking, okay, what is most important on this list of things that we need to get done? So how did you and Malcolm just came together and just kind of came up with where you were going to go first? Where did you start? With the people you knew, right? With the bankers that you knew?
Yeah. We were at the banker's door a few minutes before it opened. We know our bank manager. He took one look at my face. He's like, "Come in here. What's the problem? What can I do?" And they immediately helped us. Credit card companies are all fantastic. Every single one, Capital One, American Express, the Visas. We have accounts that had not been used in years because part of your credit score is a credit history. So if you close all your old accounts, that's not good for your credit score. You want to have long accounts. So we had the cards locked in the vault. We hadn't used them. They had 0 balances. The cyber criminals have used them all over the UK, part of the US. Took themselves out to a strip club for thousands of dollars, tried to buy high-end products at low-end online stores, a lot of online transactions. It's really, I forgot your question. I'm just remembering what happened to it.
You just have so much going on. I said, like, how you started with your banker, so you went there, and then from dealing with your banker, when we were talking in private, you were saying there is no like checklist of what you do.
That's what I was going to
Right.
say. How did you even know what was affected?
Right.
I wouldn't even know.
Think of all your
Just to think of
investments over
everything.
your years, your retirements, your business, your anything. I mean, everything that we have is tied to electronics. Is tied to this, right? And you were saying they could go in and they took, when you say your SIM card, they took your entire. They can take your passwords if
Your
you have your passwords in your
photos.
phone, right?
And your biometrics. They've got your fingerprint, they've got your facial ID. And one of the the fraud people that we talk to, like you talk to one and then they suggest you go to the next one, and you go to the next one, and then they help you go to the next one. So we were lucky that way, that people have been very generous with their time. First of all, each phone call takes between 1 and 2 hours, so you can only make 4 to 5 phone calls in a day trying to secure things. Thank goodness there were two of us, so we were able to get 8 to 10 calls a day between us. But someone told us that if they get like less than 5 seconds of your voice, they can imitate your voice with AI now.
We're going to take a quick break and stay with us, because when we come back, we'll hear more about the cyber attack and possibly how to protect yourself. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. You're watching The Girls here on SSP TV. If you're just joining us, we're talking about cyber attacks.
I know, and I'm frightened.
It's scary because how much do we rely on technology? It could be a blessing and a curse. We're with Lauren Brand, my good friend from Florida. Unfortunately, her and her husband were under a sophisticated cyber attack. She's agreed to share her story with us in hopes of letting others understand that, one, it can happen to you, and two, how to begin to protect yourself from a situation like this. So Lauren, I appreciate you coming on and spending time. I know you guys have been working diligently and spending all of your hours working on this. I don't know how people would do it who work 40 hours a week. I know you have a business as well. I know it's been very taxing on you emotionally, physically, and mentally.
And how about financially?
So again, thank you for sharing your story with us in hopes of at least protecting one person that could learn from this attack.
It's an important story, I think. They target senior citizens, I've been told. I've been told it's a big business.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told that it was not one person at their computer hacking and playing around. This was multiple people with a plan. They actually were able to wipe out every single login of mine and my husband's within 24 hours. And you think about all the passwords you have, and if you wanted to take all your passwords out of your phone, and how long would you have to sit down and take to write all those in a physical book? And these people got it done in 24 hours. So it was more than one person. It was a business. I felt like I was attacked by a business. I don't mean a corporation. I just meant
Right.
professionals.
And this kind of attack, you said, usually happens, this type of attack usually happens to corporations, not individuals, which is another
Yes.
point to be made.
I was told it's the most aggressive attack on individuals in our county, and they've only seen it at this level for corporations.
Everybody's so vulnerable. And then your big question is, why me? Like, what was it about your information that made them want to plan and spend all this time planning to do that? It's almost like a bank heist or anything where people have this big plan that it all comes together. So were there any
Glitches or signs ahead of time,
yeah,
Lauren,
like any
that
triggers or
any triggers that
anything
you would have thought, oh, this weird me. I know for me, and again, you live in a quick society. I just had an issue with my modem here, and my internet kept going out, and they couldn't figure out why. And then I'm like, okay, so they said I needed a new modem. They gave me a new modem, and it still didn't work. And then after hearing your story, I'm thinking, oh my God, is someone trying to get into my modem?
Yeah, I don't want to scare you, Janine, but the same thing happened to us. Our modem wasn't working. We got a brand new modem. Then we went on vacation. We came back, and within 5 days of returning, this all happened. So is it the new modem? Is it because we went on vacation? What I'm starting to say, because a lot of people are asking me now, what do I recommend? And I'm saying, if you had your credit card compromised once, you're in somebody's target.
Mhm.
So start taking action.
What can you have done sooner so other people would know?
Number one, lock down your credit bureaus. Lock them all. And then if you want to go apply for something, you simply click on lock, apply, and then click lock again. So lock them down.
Okay.
And you fill in your credit information,
Okay.
and then you click a button that says freeze my credit.
When you lock this down, then if you want credit on something, you have to reopen it, right? Before
Yes.
they can run
You
your
have to
credit.
unfreeze it. Yeah.
Right.
You just go online and you click
Right.
unfreeze and you
Right.
unfreeze it, and
It's
then
worth
you
that.
let them, yeah,
So if you can unfreeze it, can someone else go in and unfreeze it?
they actually did that to me because they had my password.
Lock your credit.
Number
Okay.
two, there's every telephone and every cell phone I think since 2023 has been able to assign a SIM pin and lock your SIM to your carrier. And those are buttons that are within an iPhone. I've been told they're also in Android. I'm not an Android person.
Okay.
But you can do that, and you go online, Google your carrier name, Google SIM pin or lock SIM, and the instructions come right up. It's very easy. I was able to do it in less than 2 minutes. If I had known about that, we would not have lost our SIMs.
Back up all photos and documents to an external hard drive. This breaks my heart. You were just on a very beautiful, monumental vacation.
We lost
I know
all
I
the
have some
photos.
pictures if you need them because you sent them to me. So we have some photos there, but yes, you've lost all your photos. I know with me, I take photos all the time.
Yes.
I love photos and videos, so I would be devastated, I think, more with losing photos than losing money at some point.
So did they hack into your, like you have a Facebook account, a Twitter, all these other accounts. So was everything taken from every one of those places?
I wasn't a big social media person, so I had a very tiny presence on Instagram, just so I could see, some family. And I was on Facebook for family and friends, not a big account. But I had a larger presence on LinkedIn. I've lost the login, so I have no idea what they've done to them, if anything. They may have just locked me out to be mean, and the accounts may be okay. I don't know yet. I'm trying to get
They
in,
can
but
use
it's
your
hard.
account though to ask people for money.
Right.
Yes, they can.
Really.
I have a friend that lives a block away from us, and he just had that happen to him at Facebook and lost. Our next door neighbor lost $1,500.
When we look at this attack, what could be done better now in the future? I mean, education, obviously, what we're doing here today, but what else can be done to help people?
Get your passwords off the internet and off of your devices.
Okay.
Make a list of. I'm a file person. I like paper. I'm old fashioned, and thank heavens I had a printed copy of every account with the account number on it. That helped us recover. If I didn't have those account numbers handy, it would have been harder. So make yourself a little 3-ring binder with all your account numbers, just a copy of the page with the phone number of who to call the institution. Know your banker, number one. Go and know your banker. The online fraud, I'm not saying anything against online banking, but it was so much easier to go down the street, knock on the door, see the people that know me, and get help. The online banks, it's more difficult. It's harder to reach a person.
You had made a comment that I think should be heard also on the show about being the criminal's client, right? Didn't they call you criminals? The criminal's client, not the victim here.
But on the criminal side of it, they're looking at her as a client. They just stole all her information.
And there's nothing on the modem side where they can do better security with them going into these devices?
I am still not an electronics person.
Right.
Electricity is magic to me. I don't know how it all works. So I hope we can get things better. But what I am finding is that every single person this happens to is figuring it out for themselves, by themselves.
This must happen more times than not, for us not to have a plan in place for people to feel safer, at least, okay, it happens to you, and then what? You're just on your own figuring it out?
Well, why don't we hear about it? Why don't we hear about it? That's the other thing.
So
Nobody's
then
talking
Lauren,
about it.
yeah, who is talking about it?
We're talking about it.
Back it up to a hard drive.
Yeah,
Number one.
back it up to a hard drive and take
Get rid of
everything
your
off.
passwords. Get
all
rid of
your
the passwords off.
Well, if we didn't need 17,000 passwords that had to be different, we would we wouldn't need to write them down.
Close down everything that you don't need.
Another suggestion that I got from local law enforcement is do not use a text verification. Use this a hard security key. And a hard security key looks like an old thumb drive, and you put it in your phone when you need to use it, and then when you aren't using it, you take it out and have it in a safe place.
Because they sold your phones from your hands without even being there, right? So now
That's
they
right,
have your
exactly.
face, your fingerprints, your passwords, everything, right? And your phones were wiped out, right? Your
And
phones
then
were.
if we go to log into something, it says, let me send a verification code, and they send it to the stolen phone number.
So I'm going to let you take the floor, Lauren, and say what you'd like people to know. What's your message with these cyber attacks?
I'm just a regular person. This happened to me. Don't think it won't happen to you. I hope it doesn't. But if you could take some steps like lock your security, know your banker, get your passwords off your phone, get your SIM pin, you'll be a little better shape than you were.
Well, I appreciate you coming on our show today and taking time out of your busy schedule with the holidays and the travel and now dealing with all of this. So I do appreciate you talking with my mom and me today.
Absolutely. I know you opened my eyes. I'm going right home. I can't wait to start working on my phone and start doing the things that you recommended. So I thank you for that as well. And we will continue to play this and get the message out there of what people can do. And hopefully the law enforcement will create a division to help with this.
Mm-hmm. And every day, Lauren, we're one day closer to freedom for you as well, right? With getting this resolved.
Thank you.
All
Thank you
right,
very
love
much.
and miss
I've
you. I'll
learned
see
a
you
lot.
soon.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
All right. Again, Lauren Brand joining us. She was under a sophisticated cyber attack. We're happy to have her on the show. That's scary stuff.
I know. I have chills running up and down my spine, and I'm just thinking of all the things that we do that are bad.
Because we're quick. We're a society of
We're
quickness.
vulnerable.
Yes.
We're so vulnerable. We just
rely
think that
so
everything
heavily
we
on
have in that
technology.
phone is so protected. It's very unfortunate.
Hope you learned something on the show. Again, brave of Lauren to share her story with
Right.
us.
We're going to try and find someone, maybe in technology, the high-tech things, and we will try to have them on as a guest maybe to help us with making a plan of what everyone should do. This should spur some, action. If you know something out there, get in
us a
touch with
call.
us.
Yeah,
Give us a
definitely
call,
get in touch with
definitely.
us.
And we will definitely pick your brains and come up with a plan. Again, thank you for joining us on The Girls. We'll see you next time.